jump into lyrical content,
Yes.
how important is it for you to have sound lyrical content, and how do you sift through what this is right? Because something may sound right,
Yeah.
but it's not okay. How do you how do you know?
Okay. I think you fathers was if you don't start, those things won't ever come, because there are things in the lane yempumelelo ezibekwe at certain points
100%.
to say you have to walk the mile to get there, and when you get there, provision for that will be there.
Yeah.
But the provision won't come closer to you, Meuhleli. So you need to start and walk the journey. So the one artist that I could say really opened me up to, hey man, there's such and such a thing was Uzahara.
Loliwe.
Yeah, when Loliwe came out, and as a pastor's kid, Kampuni Sikali Gospel.
Yeah.
When I heard Zahara on the radio, I went crazy. I
Big
was
up
like,
to Zahara, man. What a fantastic, amazing song by Simone Music Concept. You definitely want to get a hold of this one. And today, it gives me such a pleasure to introduce just a familiar face. He is the director, he is the brains behind Simone Music Concept, and his name is Lindo, aka Popeye. Yeah. And in studio, guys, we also have Lindo behind the scenes. We've got Nomfundo behind the scenes. And shout out to our friends who borrowed us some cameras so that this episode will be possible. Welcome, Popeye, for the second time, man.
Thank you, Mfundisi. It feels good to be here.
Just
Today we're dancing,
Yo, it's so nice, bro.
Yeah. I'm really happy to be here, Mfundisi. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
How did this song come about? Kuyinsindiso yenye.
Kuyinsindiso yenye is actually a hymn from Tilongo Levangeli.
Okay.
So some years back when we were doing a concert, I wanted to incorporate some other songs from the traditional hymn books, Tilongo Levangeli, Amagama Uhlabelela, the likes. And one guy gave me this song and said, "Have you ever heard this song?" I said, "Hey, Angiaz." So he sang it for me. I'm like, hey, I like the lyrics, man.
Mm-hmm.
The message in the song, I really love it. And then I thought one day when I record, I'll probably record the song, but in a different way than I first heard it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not a composition, but it's a song that speaks of what we believe in. Yeah, as a person and as Simone Music Concept, we believe since in this year, yeah, which is
sure.
Yeah. So it's a single now that we released. It's the first single that we have released. It's under a project that we will call A Testament of Grace. But I think it's a bit later.
Okay.
Yeah. So But it's a song that I thought we should start with, even though it's not a composition, because of the message that's in the song. Yeah. So for me, this kind of a song is what I call the gospel in song. If I'm getting that, it's a
yeah.
So yeah, going in this way is that song. So it's a single corner abantu bangayilalela but mhlambe soqhaza bangayithola kanje.
Bangayithola kanjani impela?
Ikhona kuma online store.
Okay.
Kuyathengwa, kuyastreamwa. So if you are on YouTube, you can check Simone Music Concepts. I believe the link will be there. Kule podcast le. So it's Simone Music Concepts. You can stream on YouTube, download, I believe. Your iTunes, you can buy it. It's going for 8 rands on iTunes. Spotify, your Deezer, wherever you stream your music. Yeah, ilapho. Ungayi kufakaza mzalwane wami. Ayifakazi. Yeah, so you can get the single there, Simone Music Concepts. Yeah,
wow.
You'll find the single.
Wow. Ensure that you click the link in the description below. It's going to send you straight to the song. Queens in this way. It's a powerful, amazing song. Since the last time you were here, you were risking with us, because we had just started the podcast, and your episode was fire, man. And what was your reaction based on what people were saying to you?
It felt good, really. I mean, as a person, when it feels good. excuse me, but more than that, it makes you think and go and actually watch the episode. Ungasakhulumi. When someone says, hey, when you said this, you're like, I said that, then you go and watch and you think, I think I once saw a meme saying, when someone comments on your post and you go back and look and say, content. So it was that kind of feeling. It was that kind of feeling. Good to, oh, actually, I made sense. And it's when you look at the kind of people that make those kind of comments, you see, oh man, it's actually humbling to see someone that you respect. They took their time and watched the whole episode and then came back to say, man, I watched, it was good. So it was a great feeling, man. And thanks to you, Mfundisi, for giving me the opportunity, because that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't reached out.
Yo, bro, you add so much value in the music space and in your life. I really appreciate Uguti. You don't just speak about leadership. You don't. It's something that you living out. And just give us a little bit about your passion for music. Where does it start from?
Hey, Mfundisi, I think that's one question that I always fail to answer, because I lack the words to describe the passion for music. Because as far as I can remember, when I was still a kid in primary school, radio songs are normally on rotation. So back at home, I would sit in front of the radio. In the area. I don't know if they're still there. But we would listen to the radio and I would know songs based on the intro.
Wow.
And my dad would even ask, like I would let's make an example. I would be able to make a guess. This sound probably comes from either this artist or that artist. It's definitely not that artist.
Wow.
Even though I didn't know the song. Sometimes I could guess the song right because I've heard it. So maybe I think there's an artist called Shiba and the Travelers.
Okay.
Maybe I think then I know there can only be one artist in Swaziland on my intro Anje.
Wow.
Even though I didn't know the technicalities, but I was so drawn to music and I could identify with music back then. And till now, I think I find a space and comfortable so when I'm doing music. That's where I feel like, man, I'm alive when it's music. So I can't really describe the passion. I think I don't want to say I am music and music is me, but it's that thing. I can't live without it, man. It's
wow.
Well, as a person,
yeah.
But also when it comes to career, I've had about 3 dream careers and music was always number 1.
Wow.
So for me, when we talk about music, man, and that's the space where you will find me most vulnerable, but also where you will find me because I want things to go right. It's music.
Yeah.
We can't joke around music.
Yeah.
So that's how passionate I am on Mculo, man.
And who are some of the artists that influenced you growing up? Like when you're speaking about sound, I mean, I can just recall, would say, ngiyayazi ngoma kaDeborah. Yazi ngoma kaDeborah, futhi yayidlala emathuneni nje. Uma sekwehla ithuna nje, uma sekwehla ibhokisi, ukuthi uDeborah. I could recognize ingoma kaLundi. I could recognize who else? I don't know. Ungandweni vele obvious, So what do you call that? Do you say it's a music signature?
Yeah, it's a texture. You could call it a signature because I'm a signature bantu vela fan. Yeah, we call it a texture. We call it a sound. Yeah, because with so and so because there are songs that are being sung nowadays where you like, this sounds like a Kayam Tattoo song.
Yeah.
Only to find it's another artist because Senya Maz to music sound naranja.
Yeah.
So you could call it a signature. Yeah, but for me, when it comes to influence, I think I was influenced by what we were exposed to, Gakulu. Because when I started learning an instrument, ngaqala ngepiano, and Nakona, my cousin, taught me how to play. And what he taught me was the Ngandweni style, because that's what we knew. When we grew up, especially where I grew up, Eswatini, Live shows and live recorded music wasn't a thing back then. It started late. Nathi sesikhulile. Yabo. So we were exposed to Onganwe Nanan. But the one artist that I could say really opened me up to, hey man, there's such and such a thing was Uzahara.
Loliwe.
Yeah, when Loliwe came out, and as a pastor's kid, you know, Kampuni Sekabi Gospel.
Yeah.
When I heard Zahara on the radio, I went crazy. I
Big
was
up
like,
to Zahara,
what?
man. Yeah.
There's such a sound, you know, because if it wasn't gospel, but also I wasn't exposed to the other genres of music, because there's a radio channel, Eswatini, it was called Voice of the Church, VOC. That's what, you know, the parents will listen to the news, and then Voice of the Church. In Chumayelo, it's gospel music.
Yeah.
So when we aren't listening to gospel music, it's probably jazz. And jazz back then wasn't really appealing to me. It sounded like an old person's music.
Yeah.
But when Zahara came, it was very slow. I could hear what's all, but I couldn't tell. Like now, if anyone plays an instrument with no vocals, I can relate. I mean, I can appreciate the beauty of that. But back then, I knew gospel. So the kind of gospel that we listened to and the jazz that they played in radio, there was a huge gap, man. I couldn't fill the space. So when Zahara came out, I felt like there's an element of what I hear from the gospel music. But now there's something new.
Yeah.
She's not singing gospel, and then there's drums, there's guitars, there's everything. I went crazy, man.
What was it? Her famous song, Loliwe?
It was Loliwe. I had Loliwe first.
Yeah. Then was Tolu Loliwe.
I told him Loliwe, and I wanted Loliwe every day. So Zahara was my coming out girl, man. And that's where I felt, oh man, there's Afropop. And then I started listening to other artists then. Abeba Fana no Zahara. So kind of music on here. So yeah, Zahara was my coming out girl. She exposed me to a new sound other than the one that I was.
She had a beautiful voice, man.
She had, man.
You know, one of the objectives I wanted to call you, I brought you in studio today, was for me to understand and to learn the process of music composing, or the creativity process behind it, how you gather people, how you lead people, how does a song start. I've got a lot of questions regarding that, you know. But do you remember when did songwriting start for you, and do you remember your first song?
Definitely, because that was such a huge moment for me.
Yeah.
2020 lockdown, week 2 of the very, very first time we were 3 weeks at home. Yeah, the second week I wrote a song. And I think before then, I probably have written songs, or let me say I've had ideas of songs, but I always discarded them because I was also still finding myself, there was a little bit of identity crisis, lapayana, when you look at other kids writing songs, and then when you have an idea, instead of taking that idea, I matched that, instead of taking that idea as an idea and growing it, I matched that raw idea with a complete product, Yomun. And then I thought, this is stupid, man. So, but the first song that I believed in, and I thought, this is a song, I'm sending it to someone, can you please add some musical sounds here, was in 2020. Yeah, it's a song called Ngitembe Uje. So I haven't released that song, and I don't think my choir knows that song, but they will record it very soon. Because it's a special song. Yeah, so that's the first song that I wrote. 2020. That's when I started actually believing in an idea and writing the lyrics down, recording the melody, and actually completing it as a song.
Were you frustrated? Were you happy? Obviously, you were locked down at home. You weren't traveling much. What inspired you to even start writing a song?
Honestly, that song, I think I had a melody in my head that just kept ringing, and then I mastered that melody. And then I think the following day, actually, because the song was written in 2 days, the following day when I woke up, I had the same melody because it played in my head the whole day. And then the following day, iyabuya le melody, iyadlala. And then when the melody was playing, I was meditating and thinking, you know what, man?
Yeah.
And then so those words that I was meditating on somehow just synced with the melody. And that was busy playing in my head.
Did that song connect with what was happening in your life at that time?
Yes, it did definitely, because when I said Ngetembe uJesu uye wangilamulela wasindisa uphila wami, those are the lyrics of the song. Yeah. And you know, lockdown, man, it was a very difficult time. I think the first 3 weeks we were like, no,
yeah.
But I think that is where I was close to depression.
Sure.
Yeah, because for 6 months my phone didn't ring.
Yo.
But Impilo kept.
How did you cope as an artist, man?
Hey, bro, it was hard. It was hard. I think even now things haven't really been the same for the entertainment industry since then. So at that point, hey man, you really had to have something that's gonna anchor your life, because if you didn't have Itemba Liqinile, those were very difficult times. Yeah, so it did relate, and it gave me hope, man, because I sang that song. But I kept singing the song, man. I kept singing the song. So I could say it was that's why I said I will never forget that song, because it was a very huge moment for me. I sang something that actually ministered to me.
So let's break it down a little bit. So I have a song idea.
Yeah.
What do? Do I write lyrics down? But I might forget the rhythm of the lyrics. And do I record?
Okay.
Do I record like a voice note so that I will be able to remember the song?
Yes, definitely. That's the first thing that you do, because there's a song that I lost. Unfortunately, I can't remember that song. And I know I lost big time because I was sleeping and I had a choir sing. I had the melody, I had the lyrics. And then it was a dream. I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I didn't wake up to record in my sleep. Something just kept pressing me down when I was about to take my phone. I lost it for good. But how I know I lost a good song is there's another song. I think we recorded it. Isazophuma nayo. I had the same experience. I had another choir sing. And I woke up at night. I record. And when I woke up saying, I went through my phone. I think I was dreaming about a song. When I woke up, there's actually a recording of that.
Wow.
So if I didn't record at night, that song would be gone too. Because also as a person, memory, you don't have a permanent memory for everything.
Yeah.
So you might forget either the lyrics or the melody, and now that means the original idea is lost. So if you have, I think the good thing now is we've got smartphones. You can record, and after recording you can write down the lyrics and just save everything. But if you don't do that, like the first step of writing a song, record the initial idea, no matter how stupid it sounds. But that's the idea, because when the idea hits you, you feel like, oh, it's a song. But then maybe you sing about 4 lines and you realize, and then you feel like, this is not a song.
So sometimes if you get trickles.
Yeah. Like the song that I was talking about, Ngitembe uJesu, when I wrote it, I knew I needed to have a space for a verse, but I didn't have the verse then. And then I wrote the verse weeks later, after the music was actually put together for the song.
Wow.
There was still space for the verse, and there was no one writing a verse. Until one time I was reading the Bible, I came across a scripture. I was like,
You know what's funny? You were looking for a verse and you read a verse.
And I read a verse.
And then you got an idea for the verse.
So that's how it happened. Yeah.
Wow.
So you don't have to, you won't always get a complete song.
Yeah.
Chances are you don't get a complete song. You get an idea that you need to work on to make a song. Yeah. Wow. So, but the first step, record whatever you feel in your head at that particular moment.
Now let's jump into lyrical content.
Yes.
How important is it for you to have sound lyrical content, and how do you sift through what this is right? Because something may sound right, but it's not okay. You know, how do you know?
Okay, I think I'll speak from a perspective a gospel musician.
Yes, sir.
As a gospel artist, it's very critical that your lyrical content sends a certain message. And also that message needs to be, let me put it this way, it needs to be consistent with the truth of the gospel. So I think, but there's also the tricky part where as an artist you want to say something, but manje ayishokeki kahle ngamagama athile. So you use artistry to, I think there's a lot of songs, I don't want to mention amacula band, but there's a lot of songs where people say things, if all other synonyms that would make the song sound very easy and straight to the point don't work in terms of the melodical arrangements and rhythm. So, but now as far as the message is concerned, it's very critical that into ishoyo ibe into eyiqiniso ngokwevangeli. Also, even if you are not worshiping God to say uyingcwele, but what are you saying to a person? So that's very, very critical. And for me, I'm one person who is very, very, very sensitive when it comes to lyrics, because I remember there was a show that I once did, and I told the artists, because I had 17 artists. It was a show that ran for 2 days. So I told
people, you were drumming for 17 artists?
Yeah, everyone.
Yo.
So I told everyone, submit 2 of your original songs. Hey, Omunyo submitting home. I was like, my brother, no, man. No, this is a gospel concert. We can't sing this.
Yes, sir.
We can't sing this because it doesn't make sense. But also, ngokwezwi likaNkulunkulu lento ishoyo iqiniso yini. Yabo. Omunye walethenye ingoma yayingasho lutho. Yayithi nje uJesu ngithumile. Yo. I was like, okay. Well, maybe somewhere else that would work, but for a stage that I set up, it won't work because I want to know really what are we saying. You can't just come and say you just and that's it. And the funny part is, groove yale yangom. It was very nice. As a musician, I was enjoying it. Like but umuntu olalele uJesu ngithumile and that's it. So for me that's it. But now the filter that I use is definitely the word of God. Let's check. Litini's.
Sure.
Okay. If we are not sending a message in terms of izwi lenkosi, uthini ke bantwini ke. Like I want to listen and get a message. Are you encouraging me? Are you But if you are going to leave me with no encouragement, with no revival, with awufakazi ngalutho, uyayiculela nje. For me, that can't go into gospel music. I think there are other genres where those other kind of things can go in. It's fun. I mean, you can't bring those kind of things in gospel music. So it's lyrical content. It's critical. It's critical.
Sure.
And it's important. If you can't write, get someone who can write. There are people who are really gifted in writing. As of Badela into a write. This is gospel music.
So the fact that you can sing doesn't mean that you can write? Would you say that?
No. Some people can write and sing. Some people can write, like myself, but can't sing. And some people can do both. But some people can sing, but can't write. Mnikeze ingoma uzoyicula. Muthi akabhale fiki lutho. Yabo. So now you need to know yourself, especially as a singer, you need to know if you can actually write. And then it's a tricky part though, because you need to believe in yourself. So it's before a song becomes really a song, it has to be written and then arranged. Some people can write. We've played some songs that we felt like this was still an idea. But now we are in church. This person said, I wrote a song. But you can feel as somebody or sebenza nama musical arrangers and writers go to know labels are finally arranged. And then sometimes you go to a church, because sometimes I do musical direction for worship nights, and they'll tell you, oh, we've got a song that we wrote like something, and this is how it goes. Then I'll call Mfundisi to say, can we please properly arrange the song? We're not going to change the way the song sounds and falls, but for it to be presented as a musical item, we need to arrange. So some people can write but can't arrange. I've had strugglers.
What's the process of song arrangement?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain it right now. So I've had strugglers with arranging songs sometimes, where I write a song, I've got the melody, I've got the lyrics, I've probably got the structure. But okay, I'd like the verse to go kabili bese by chorus, phinde verse, bese mhlambe iyaphinda ingoma laphayana, bese iyaphela. But now the actual notes, ukuthi soprano ne-alto ne-tenor izocula ini la. Uthola ukuthi I'm struggling with that. And then I'll send the song and the idea to someone to say, Edward, look, I wrote the song. I'll send him the raw thing that's on my phone. Whether I was walking, extracting, so this is where the song comes from. This is how much I've worked on it. So can you please arrange it for me? Then they will arrange. Sometimes they will even mix the structure up to say, no, man, the song can come in with the chorus first, because now that's someone who says things differently and is more gifted in arranging than writing. So I'll give them the raw thing to say, look, I need this to become a song. So sometimes even with musical arrangement to say the band should play this and this and this and that. Yeah, well, so when it comes to arranging, you need someone who's going to put things into their rightful places.
How do you find them? So let's say I'm a startup artist and I believe that this song is saying Besleli no Popeye Intafleni Sensanje.
Yeah.
So Sensanje is the chorus, you know. But how do I find a person who can help me do a song arrangement?
Okay, now that's the business side of things, and I think any into that we lack in, because in the music industry, writers and arrangers have always been pushed towards the back.
Yes, sir.
Even producers, umuntu osuke ehleli edeskini studio and record, they've always taken the credit for producers.
Yes.
So that's one thing that needs to be fixed. But a lot of songwriters and arrangers are not known because they don't advertise. Number one, which I'm a songwriter.
Yeah.
I'm a song arranger. So if you need songs, you want to sing, you've got the voice, but you don't write. You can come to me. I've got 200 songs that you can pick from.
Wow.
Right? Or someone who says, I'm an arranger. You've written a song and you don't know how to arrange it. I'm here. Come, let's do it. They don't advertise themselves, but also there's the element of artists and groups not crediting them.
Sure.
Let's just say I'm an artist, releasing ngoma, it's Besleli no Nhlaka. Mangi releasing ngoma, people think it's my song because I'm singing the song, right? But masengi credit, maseng pala, it's okay, the song was recorded where, with who, so and so played the drums, so and so did the sleeve design. Most of the time on the credits, you don't find who wrote the song.
Sure.
So by a feel, because I don't know why.
Wow.
You know, so it has been hard, but now I think what you can do is cut the social media, man. You can even post to say, because I would say go to those sleeves, because that's how you would get stuff done. To go online to check. Yes, city sleeves
yes.
Producer lubani ngiyayithanda indlela le iproject yalo muntu isounda ngakhona.
Yes, sir.
So awuthi ngimfonele so and so ngimfune ngize ngithole ukuthi hey ngibone wenza umsebenzi kabani. Ngicela ungenzele, this is my idea. So it should be like that, but I think just go on social media, post if you have to, because it's your thing. Post, tell people, hey, I'm looking for song arrangers. They will plug you in. You know. But also I think songwriters and arrangers, man, come up. Tell us that you write, because I think, especially in gospel music, there's a lot of artists whose hit songs, Abba Dumenga, were not written by them. And the songwriters to this day are not known. And you find that person has written more than 5 songs for 5 different artists.
Yes, sir.
And 3 out of those 5 songs were hit songs, but that person is not known.
So it's almost like songwriters are failing to profile themselves.
To profile
and
themselves.
To gather everything.
Because what I would do, if I were to write a song, you sing it, it becomes big. I'll tell the world I wrote that song. I would. There's nothing wrong because
100%.
You don't own the song. But again, it also goes back to the music business kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's okay,
yeah.
did you
Split
sell
sheets
the
and
rights,
stuff.
split sheets and everything. But but as a service provider, man, okay, in as much as I would claim the song, would say I wrote it. In that sense, it's my profile.
Yes, sir.
It's my CV. Would say I'm a good songwriter. Look at my work. I wrote a song for so and so. I wrote a song for so and so. So if you want a song, you could come to me because I am a songwriter. Because it's hard. There was a time where I wanted songwriters. I couldn't find any because I didn't know who to go to.
Yes, sir.
Because most of the songs that are out there, we aren't told. So it is a bit of a tricky thing. But right now, I think just go on social media, write it.
So you think maybe people are struggling to understand what you're doing is actually a business. You can do transaction with songwriting. Yo, that is so cool. So I know that you're an incredible leader. So now you've written the song.
Yeah.
And it's in the most basic form. How do you gather people and envision them and execute the song the way that you've dreamed of?
Okay. So I think the safest thing that I've found to have worked for me, and that's how I still do it, I don't give the song to the actual musicians until the song is complete. So, right? What I do, I write a song. When I feel I need to work with someone to either complete the lyrics, if I'm struggling to get a verse, I'll send it to someone that I know with. I want one, give them that song. They'll come up with the verse for this thing.
Yeah.
Regardless of the song, they'll come up with the verse. And then for musical arrangements and harmonies, I'll give this person the song. They'll come back and send me guides. Okay, the soprano, these are the soprano lines, alto lines, tenor lines. So when so the people that I have to explain the vision of the song to are the people that I co-write with or arrange the song with. So when the choir receives the song or the band receives the song, they receive a guide.
100%.
So now it's more like they have to just replicate what we have set for them. So because it would be difficult to sit with the choir and try to figure out all the notes and everything. So, but now what I do, it's one challenge that I've had also as a songwriter. When you give someone a song and then they take the song to a different direction, it happens because they are also creatives of their own. They might have a different vision for what you're giving to them. And then we'll start fighting to say, no, man, that's good, but that's not how I want the song to go to. That's not the feel. Let's change it, you know? So they send me harmonies. I'm like, okay, that's good, but I think it's a bit too fancy for what I want the song to sound like. Because once the choir receives that, that's what they're gonna sing. So we work around the product with the co-writers and arrangers. So, but I always give them a feel of where did I get the song from. I was walking in the street, man, a melody popped out.
Wow. So
this is the original recording when I was on the street walking. I sent it to you, and this is what I've done. This is how I think the song should be when it's completed. So when they arrange, they already have guidelines to say, the songwriter wants this song, because a song is an expression of my feeling.
Sure.
So I don't want you to express what I feel in a different way.
Yeah.
I want to tell that person that I was happy to see them, and I want them to hear it from somebody else, because I can't sing, but I don't want somebody else to put it in a way that I wouldn't put it if I could sing.
Wow. And so do you do a lot of co-writing with people, or is that is that the majority of it?
Not co-writing, but co-arranging, yes.
Co-arranging.
Because I believe I don't want to regret the final product in terms of the musical arrangements.
100%.
And feel like, we could have done so much better, man.
Yeah.
And only to find that you've recorded the song or you
collaboration.
The song. Yeah. So when it comes to writing, most of the time, I think I'm usually content and confident with the lyrics. I always consult when it comes to the actual arrangement of the song in terms of harmonies and music. That one I always consult. But when it comes to the lyrics, most of the time I'll give you a complete product.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll also tell you if I feel like we could add something.
100%.
Yeah, but yeah, co-arranging probably 98% of the songs.
Wow.
I've arranged it with someone.
Yeah. And you find that very helpful for your sound?
It is, because also when I write, I've got a choir and I've got guys that I'll be releasing as artists. So I know how Nhlaka is gonna make the song sound, right? Because I know how you think when it comes to music. So what I do as a producer, I don't want to be predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go to a KFC, we will tell Street Price 2. You already know this is how it's gonna taste.
Yeah.
And if you were to start tasting like honchos, maybe you're making a call. But as a producer, I want people to come to you and be surprised, pleasantly so.
Basically, you are the buffet.
I'm a buffet, so I can't. That is why it's important for me to bring in different people.
Yes, sir.
So that I keep the variety of the flavor and texture of the music. Because
Wow.
if I always write and arrange, the songs somehow will tend to sound the same, and I don't want that.
Yo, so speaking about the choir, how do you acquire the choir?
Hey man, I think the choir got me into an uncomfortable spot, because it's the first time working with a huge choir. I think, when did I do the auditions? I can't remember well. But when I did the first live recording, I only had 8 people. And before that, the most that I've had on stage was 9 people. I never liked working with choirs because of admin. So, but also I was the kind of guy who would handpick and select people. Say, I want to work with so and so and so and so and so and so, because I think so and so vouched for him, but also I know so and so is good in terms of music, but also the way they handle themselves in the work environment. So, but when it came to the choir, I decided I'm going to do auditions just this once and see what I was going to find. It was a risky move, because you would find one gifted person, but but I then decided, you know what, I'm going to have, I think you saw the requirements for the auditions. It was very little about music and quite a number of items that had to do with your character.
Yes,
and
sir.
can we trace where you fellowship and all those kind of things, because I didn't want musicians. But that's how I got the choir. For the first time ever, Simunye held auditions. They were online. You had to send your clip. I listened, then I chose based on. You had to answer all those questions.
The power of being your own boss.
Yeah. So you had to answer all those other questions though. And if I felt, angimuzwa lo muntu uthi uthini in terms of their character and everything, I'd put you aside.
Would you do it again?
Auditions? No, man. I don't like auditions. No, I don't like auditions, because I think
they bring so much hope, hey?
Yeah, they bring so much hope, but also the thing of having to break someone's heart. There were people that I had to struggle telling, you didn't make it. Simply because the thing with auditions, it's like competitions. I wouldn't be a judge in a competition. I don't like competitions. I don't participate in competitions, because you are judged on how you perform in that particular moment.
Moment.
And if it's 4 of you, we have to compare you to the other person.
100%.
So if you aren't good enough at that moment, you aren't the winner. So for me, it was a difficult thing to do, to be the one to judge, to think, oh, there's a good tenor, there's another one. I'm gonna take this one. Now I have to tell this person, I know, man, but sorry, you didn't make it. For me, it wasn't a good experience.
I used to go to a lot of acting auditions. I once went to this one. It was at UKZN in Durban, and this famous actress. So I was in front of her. It was gonna be like different rounds, ne? So I've been practicing the whole evening. You know, we didn't sleep in Durban. Everyone's trying to learn their lines and. When I get in front of this judge, bro, in my heart, I'm giving my best.
Oh my.
Bruh, you know what was her response? She said, nothing, bruh.
She just looked at you.
Nothing, bruh.
Yeah,
Like, like it was so bad, bruh. You know, yeah. But anyways, I did qualify for a movie in another one, in other auditions.
Siyabonga.
Sarafina Ngaifeila. I couldn't dance. I couldn't sing. I could just do the acting, but Sarafina needs everything, you know. But next question, Betuga, how do you keep yourself grounded and disciplined as a leader? Because you've got a lot of responsibility happening. You are gigging this side, you are gathering people this side. You need to encourage the young people that you lead. Then you need to deal with parents, you know. How do you keep yourself grounded as a leader?
I mean, I think there was one time where, when it comes to this leadership thing, I thought, "Hey, man, man, this thing
Yes,
is a lot of responsibility." But I think with leadership, it works on you more than it works on the people that you are leading.
Sure.
Because this question, how do you keep yourself grounded? For me, yes, I'd say I'm a self-disciplined person. It discipline you call I want. But also, if I'm being honest, ngiyathanda ukusho le. Angena umuntu oziphethe kahle, uJesu ungiphethe kahle. Let me be honest, because there's quite a lot of things that I would have done already. As a young person, ziningi ilingwe ikhona. And ubone ukuthi namathuba akhona.
Yeah.
Okuyenza lento.
Yes, sir.
But the relationship that I have, Crestu, iyona that keeps me grounded. To think, you know what, as a Christian, that I cannot do. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't have struggles. I do, man, you know. But it's a matter of building your principles around Christ to say, konke kuvumelekile, but akusikona konke kuyinzuzo. So I won't partake in everything, you know. It being allowed and doable and having the opportunity doesn't mean I should partake, you know. So is it good for me? How is it going to benefit me? You know, but also as a leader, there's that responsibility that you carry. Office lako alvalo.
Yeah.
If I were to say something nasty right here, like,
yes,
just like being a pastor, there are things that you can't be seen doing or heard saying that other people would say, and they would get away with it. But because you are a pastor, it's expected of you.
100%.
So for me, the office itself is a constant reminder.
Yeah.
So it keeps you grounded in the sense that you need to represent all the values that you preach to the people.
Sure.
One of the things, discipline yami eyenza ukuthi ikhule when it comes to time.
Yeah.
Mangithi kubantu ku-rehearsal yaqala ngo-3. I can't arrive at 3:30.
100%.
Because how am I gonna shout at these people to say, I say rehearsal starts at 3?
Yeah.
So me being a person who preaches to people to keep time, it makes me to keep time in the environment that I preach in, but also it then becomes a culture wherever I go that I need to keep time.
100%.
To a point whereby even if I'm going to meet with someone who I know who's definitely will be late, I just can't be late. I'll get there on time and start complaining when I knew very well this person is gonna be late. You know, so in you know, because now you as a leader, you don't only encourage. There are times where you have to rebuke people. There are times where you have to call people into order. You know, but you can't do that if when you constantly need to be called into order. You know, so the office of being a leader is the one that really grounds me to say I have a fair to. I need to go because I can't stay in this environment. It's a classical example of you can't go on a weekend uyophuza nabasebenzi bakho and then masulapho bese ushiya izinto masobuya emsebenzini ezizokwenza ukuthi bangasakuhloniphi because siphuza nawe wena and masudakiwe siyawazi ukuthi wena ubehave kanjani, you know, those kind of things. Not that I don't socialize, but there are times where I can't be found with those people because in that space everyone is vulnerable, everyone is going crazy, and there are things that you would find that mengizisho ngikhululeke kakhulu ukhona who's going to lose respect for me. But also if people that I lead would hear stories from other clients with hey, Popeye is always late, man. Popeye
Yes,
doesn't
sir.
check the music. Hey, Popeye, you figure
Oh.
17, but I come to them and tell them, hey guys, you can't come to work drunk. They
Yeah.
will lose their respect, you know.
100%.
So for me, it's a thing of office. Later you
Mm.
preach this, you have to leave it.
Yeah.
So it really keeps me grounded in every way possible.
Wow. And how do you keep yourself accountable? And do you have mentors? What are the most impactful things that maybe you learn from them?
Okay. When it comes to accountability, for me, it's a very interesting dynamic.
Yes, sir.
I've got people that I talk to who don't do music,
Yes, sir.
but they will tell me. I'd call them. We would speak on the phone. I tell them, okay, there are people who always know what I'm gonna do when it comes to projects and how I'm gonna do it, and they will tell me, okay, I think this one needs prayer. Ungayiplaneli kakhulu le.
Yes, sir.
Ithandazele kakhulu.
Mm.
Yabona ke le iplanele.
Mm.
And yeah, so I've got quite a number of people. I've got people that I bounce ideas on,
That's good.
right? And then I've got people that I tell stuff when, hey, sexual, how
Yes,
do we
sir.
get out of this? And there are people that come into place when it's the planning phase. And then when we put them all together, lo muntu embounce any idea will come back to me and say, you initially said you want this to go this way. Why is it going that way?
Yes, sir.
You see, so and then there are people who would come and check. Not I, do you need help here and there? So to me, it brings automatic accountability because I
100%.
can't come and talk to you once and then I'm gone. Once I speak to you about an idea,
Yes, sir.
I know it's definitely a person who's going to come back to me and say,
Wow.
I know the know. Oh, man, we spoke about this. How about you do this? And then so I don't do things as a leader, Jenge one man.
That's good.
Yeah. And also in the choir, with every project, I always select people that will know about things that go on behind the scenes.
Love it.
So that no one feels like, hey, we're just running this guy's show. You know, some of the ideas we would implement come from those people.
Yes, sir.
So it makes me now a person who has to always submit my project
Yeah.
to someone before I do it, because now I know this person knows I started here, now I'm here. So they know the end goal.
Yeah.
So I have to keep submitting to them. Good sesilana manje. Yeah, so I do have those kind of people.
Yo, I love it, bro. And what do you say to someone who has this dream of whatever? They might be writing music, might be
Okay.
wanting to be a musician, might be anything. They just in the dreaming phase, but they are scared to take a leap of faith. What do you say to such a person?
I'll tell them something that one of the guys I was speaking about now, one of those mentors and people that I talk to, once told me, and it changed my life. He said one word: start.
Sure.
Start. I think the biggest problem that we have is fear. So, ungasabi ukuqala. And there's this thing of wanting to start off on a very, very glorious level. You have to work to get there.
100%.
Start, no matter how stupid your start looks like, no matter how foolish, no matter how low, it's what matters the most.
Yeah.
Start.
Wow.
If you don't know how to start, this is what I would tell you. If you want to be an artist or anything, man, you aren't the first person to want to do that thing, and you aren't the last.
100%.
So, as someone who's not the first, go out there and try and search who is actually doing it and doing it the way that I would like to do it.
100%.
Find a way either to contact them or search how they started and how they did it. And also, most industries or careers, they aren't, I don't know how to put it. It's not like uzowenza leyo nto phela. If you are a singer, let's just put it in music, in the space of music. When you're doing music, you could be an instrumentalist, you could be a vocalist, you could be a sound engineer, you could be anything. You could do logistics, planning shows, you could do stage designs, you could do anything. So what you could do if you want to maybe run a company
Yes, sir.
that hires out sound, stage, and lighting, one way to start is to find the companies that are doing it get a job there.
No, Simunya.
For yeah, for the experience to
Yes,
say,
sir.
okay, ngifuna ungayeli imali lapho. You've got a dream, man,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't afford. You don't have $1 million
Mm-hmm.
to buy a stage in a sound.
Yes, sir.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Go there, start working there. Ubone equipment or kuna microphone.
Mm.
Okay, since I cannot afford to buy EP2 nama bass now 2, but I can afford to buy a pack of 3 microphones and
Yes, sir.
cables. So I'm gonna go work, buy those cables, and keep storing them. Before you know it, you will have the equipment that you want.
Wow.
But it's a matter of starting.
Yeah.
And do not be ashamed
Yeah.
of starting, because most of the time the start won't be classy, won't be glamorous. But mausaba and unamahloni, then it will always remain a dream.
Yo.
Yeah.
You know, one of the values that we have in this podcast, because I had this dream of starting a podcast 2022. I had a glorious dream, eh? Glorious dream, and I committed that I was going to start in 2023, but 2023 had some obstacles.
Oh.
I have no gear, I have no studio, like the right reasons,
Yo.
you know. And then until October,
Yeah.
it was just such a subtle thought that says, you don't start from where you hope to be.
Definitely.
You start from where you are.
Yeah.
And from then, I was just like, I'll take whatever, remove a couch from home, have a wall in the background,
Yeah.
have one camera, record audio on the phone.
Yeah.
Because you don't start from where you hope to be. You know,
Yeah.
there's a dream, and there are people that need to be impacted by that dream, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of our story.
And if I were to ask you, Mfundisi, if I was the one interviewing you, I was gonna ask you this question to say, did it happen? I don't know if it was gonna be a question or I was just going to imply that.
Ask it, bro.
Ngithi, wabona yini kodwa ukuthi these valid reasons, you made them ukuthi abe ama excuses.
Yes, sir.
And then when you started working on the podcast, you realized, actually, man, I was complaining ukuthi this thing won't work. I don't have this, I don't have that. You found that there is a way to work around it.
There is a way.
But if you sit long enough with the valid reasons and they turn into excuses, chances are it will be harder for you to start.
Yeah.
And there are things, man, engiyufaka zwazo ukuthi if you don't start, those things won't ever come, because there are things endleleni yempumelelo ezibekwe at certain points.
100%.
To say you have to walk the mile to get there, and when you get there, provision for that will be there.
Yeah.
But the provision won't come closer to you, Meuhleli. So you need to start and walk the journey. Some of the people who are your destiny helpers, you will meet them when you start. Because if I hadn't started the Simunya thing, no one would even, you wouldn't be calling me here, because
yes, sir.
Even if Besazana, but you called me here as a director, Simunya.
Yes, sir.
So this opportunity here, this connection came
because you started
at a certain part of the journey to say there's Nhlaka Hadebe and All Things Leadership podcast that will give you an opportunity to sit and speak with a camera. Yeah, so, but if I didn't start,
100%.
I wouldn't find this opportunity. There are people that I met along the way who thought, nangumuntu ohambo lami.
Yes, sir.
So some of the things that you worry about are really not yours to worry about. They are there in the journey. Start walking the journey. Do your level best. As long as you know, I'm doing everything right and I'm doing everything to the best of my ability with what I have.
100%.
Definitely along the way. There are things that I used to struggle to do. Yes, even if I was doing them right. But because kwi-journey ngangingakafiki, yabo kufana nokusuka kini mawusuka emakhaya, there's a gravel, and then to get to the main road, you would have to maybe drive 2 kilometers on the drive. It's the same car, you can drive.
Yeah.
But the way you're driving the car, akuvumi ukuthi ugijime.
Yes, sir.
So in as much as you are a good driver, but the path that you are on currently doesn't allow you to drive at 120 kilometers per hour. So it feels like you're going slow.
Yeah.
But once you get to the freeway, you can fly, right? So there are things that you would struggle with, even though you're doing them right. But because it's not the opportune time with lezo zinto ziqaqeke. you might struggle. And before you know it, 2 years later, same thing. How? You no longer struggle with that. Kanjani manje? Because you've walked the journey and it has built consistency and it has taught you, you've learned your lessons, and with all that building up and the consistency and you growing in the vision, it makes it easier for some of the things and the people to be aligned to you.
100%.
Yeah, so people should start, man. Start and consistently go. Don't worry about a lot of things. It looks messy when you start and it's very discouraging. And I think one of the things that people who have visions should learn to do is to find things that are going to encourage them. Because it can be discouraging to work on an idea for 5 years and you don't yield results. And sometimes there's nothing wrong that you're doing, man. It's just the time.
Sure.
Especially the music.
Yeah.
When people get famous, I can tell you a lot of the famous musicians that they can tell you they can give you records that 10 years back
100%.
and they were doing shows, but you didn't know about them. And when you listen to the song that they were singing 10 years back, you're like, this guy has been good, man.
Yeah.
Since that time.
Love it.
It's just that manje amatuba. So amatuba right. But along the journey, if they stopped and gave up, they wouldn't get here.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Start and walk the journey.
As you're speaking, I'm thinking about just the power and the weight of vision. Or as you have vision and you start executing, it comes with a certain responsibility, and it's like you're working out. Sure. When you continue executing consistently, it's like you're a gym because you're working on your craft. All of a sudden, this is what we do and this is what we do not do. This is how we do things, and all of a sudden, you bring people, you empower people. Into carrying some of the things that you used to carry alone. Yeah. And it's such a great thing, great encouragement as well. We need to start, we need not to stop, we need to continue and being persistent, and looking for mentors, and wow, what a beautiful thing. Tell me, how do people get a hold of you, Simunye? Event coordination, choir, music direction, everything that you do. How do people get a hold of you?
You can go to our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, we've got TikTok here. You can go there. First, check out our work so that you know what you're buying into. Check out our work on social media at Simunye Music Concepts. Simunye Music Concepts. You can even get our contact details there. But if someone wants my direct number, then but nakoni corner on the page.
So you told page.
Page in, yeah.
Yeah, just page through.
Just page through you. The page and then subscribe there. Like, follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simunye Music Concepts on YouTube. We've got a channel also. That's where people will be finding our music.
Wow.
Yeah.
And guys, do you have any questions for our guest? Okay, what an insightful episode, bro. Really, really appreciate it. Just gonna go it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go it. What a great, amazing interview with Lindo. I've learned a lot about the process of writing a song, collaborating with people, but also inviting people to be part of your space, living your life in an accountable manner, knowing what you call for, and not just dreaming about your dream, but starting to execute on your dream, no matter how small it is, because you don't start from where you hope to be, you start from where you are. From me and the crew and Lindo, we thank you so much for taking time watching this episode. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all things Leadership Podcast, and comment, because your comment and your likes and your shares, they just spread, they help the algorithm, and it helps impact many more lives. Thank you so much. Siyabonga kakhulu. Danko.